far?
I don't know. I think we're fine.
This trash can's kind of in the way.
Yo, guys. All right, let's see. I think are we up and going?
I don't know. Can anyone?
Anyone?
Bueller.
Anyone out there?
Oh, it just says
that
that we're live.
Does it?
No. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
We're live for ourselves.
Sure. Yes, we are.
All right, let me share. Share to my newsfeed.
Share. We got some
live.
Carrie Ann, what's up? Is it Carrie Ann? I wonder how that's pronounced. Carrie Ann?
Look at my...
Yeah, Carrie Ann.
Carrie Ann.
Hi.
Hi,
Carrie Ann. We're just putting... we don't have our producer here today, so...
This just does. Maybe next time.
Alyssa, what up? How you doing? Joseph. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. What a morning.
I would say so. I'm sorry. I'm slow at typing.
Go ahead, toss it in there. What a morning. Shane, what's up? Hello.
What is with my fingers today?
I'm getting
done. Okay. Now I'm going to lower.
Exactly how to spell. Perfect. Awesome.
There we go.
Oh, you're on now too.
I'm here.
Nice. Good to see you guys.
Wow, it has been a moment. I feel like we didn't have a show last week. You were traveling. You were at
what was it last week?
Toronto,
yeah.
For the Showdown in the 6.
Showdown in 6. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It's funny going from like a couple weeks ago 04s to the 08s, and it's interesting of like making those jumps and the things that like the subtle changes that happen and the changes.
Got hair shedded.
It's funny like with the 04s, like little things, right? With the 04s, you might drop a F-bomb here and there, have a little bit of fun with them, get their attention a little bit. Whereas with the 08s, it's like, nope. You have to be so. You're very careful, making sure. It's so funny how the differences on that end. But it was a blast. Good cruise.
Here we go.
You got it?
Yeah, I did. I was just having.
Nice. What a morning.
I mean, like, there's been so much going on. We have well, as you were away in Toronto, I highly recommend if you're looking for ideas to celebrate like a 10-year wedding anniversary, that you send your husband, to another country to go play with young boys. That's not at all what I meant.
Is that how you see it?
I know you were living your best self. You're not coaching. But I would have liked to have seen you for our anniversary.
Obviously.
But
what was funny was
does that not sum up our life and hockey?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm shocked you made it to the wedding. That there wasn't like a game or something.
It was so funny how many people were giving it to me after. They're like, for your tenure? You're up here? For your tenure? It's like, yeah, why? Is that not good?
On my page
am I
today,
not supposed to be here?
I'm going to be talking about how it's okay to say the word no.
Exactly. Classic.
We'll celebrate soon. And also our household, right? You can see the boxes behind us over here. We're moving in about 2.5 weeks.
Yep.
So that's always fun. Oh, yeah. Especially with 2 kids and a husband who's been on the road as much probably over the last 2 months than you have been in probably the last 2 years combined.
It's been a lot.
But no, it's there's some exciting stuff going on. You want to kick off with some of our announcements of what we have coming up?
What you want to talk about what the
That's an announcement.
Yes, exactly. So we're building up.
I feel like we need sound effects.
I know Shang's on. Yeah, we've got Kaz. He's going to be in. So guys, we're starting our performance team. I'm starting to recruit now. I've been taking applications, going through. The biggest part right now is this for the off season wise, right? We've finally figured out of how to explain it in a very simplistic term of what is it that we do exactly, right? What is it how we help athletes, right? What do we do? The simplest form now that we can explain it is it's the speed of your mind. We help your mind move fast. As simple as that, right? By identifying.
Do you need a fast mind?
No, not at all. Not at all. It was interesting, right? Because on Instagram, I had done this. You can do like the polls on Instagram. I don't know if you guys know that, but you can, put up a question in the stories and then people get to vote and all that. And so as the voting was going through, it was interesting So I asked the question, what's more important, right? Because I got a lot of players, coaches, parents are on there, right? It's a big mix. And I asked, I was like, what's more important, speed of mind or speed of body? And it was unanimous, right? I think it ended up finishing 60-3, right? Voting speed of mind over speed of body. I'm like, okay, great. Then I asked the next question. I'm like, all right, well then, if that's the case, if we believe that unanimously as a whole, that it's speed of mind is way more important, how much time do you invest into speed of body versus speed of mind? Which one do you do more? This was interesting. So it came out to the same thing. It was probably about 70 votes total, but ended up coming out to 70% said speed of body and 30% said speed of mind. And so it was interesting, right? There you go. Like, if we believe that speed of mind is more important, then what are we doing to work on speed of mind? And I've been trying to articulate mindset and everything. And it's like this, oh, what is it? And it's only for messed up people, all this stuff. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks going through that experiment. It finally hit. And I was like, Natalia, what's up? What's up?
Hey,
it finally hit like a ton of bricks. And it was like, that's what we do. It's speed of mind. We help you develop confidence, consistency, what your role is, and understand this is, if you want to build speed in your mind and you want to know and you want to commit and you want to have a vision and direction, that's in its simplest form what we do. That's the easiest way to explain it. So that's what with our players, that's what happens with our players and our students, is that when we give them a vision, a clear vision on understanding, this is what you're meant to do, this is what I do, this is my role, great. Once you know what your role is, now you can confidently build out how to actually develop your role.
I want to point something out that you just said.
Yeah.
How?
Yes.
You can find lots of programs,
Coach
and I'm
Carl.
sure for something for yourself, something for your child, a lot of people don't give you the actual how, the actual steps you can do in a simple way to understand and execute.
A method, yes.
A methodology, yes. This program involves how to do it, not just why or that you should or like theoretically, but it actually walks you through from day one till the end how to do it. So I wanted to kind of put a little extra
100%.
enunciation on that, because
science-based, spiritual-based, player development-based, guys, it lines up. We've just seen enough proof to see it through the years of it works. It works, right? It's an actual method that in its simplest form, again, what does it do? It speeds up the mind. As simple as that. It just makes you go faster. Understand? Beth, what's up? Riri, Rachel, we're going to see her tomorrow.
yes.
Beth was pumped about the video put out a couple days ago, explaining how that aha moment. But that's the part, guys, that's the part of what we've realized of it, to help people understand is that's what we do. That's what we do. We help your mind get faster because we help you commit to a specific vision. We clear away the noise, right? Because there's a lot of visions as athletes, as performers, as anything in life. There's a lot of dreams and visions we can have, right? But that's the issue, is that most of us spend time, well, oh, this person said this. Okay, well, then this person said that. Well, wait a second. Well, I just read this. Oh, I just saw this video. It's so much based on so much information instead of committing. Instead of identifying who you are as a player and knowing, okay, I accept this is who I am. And then directing my day-to-day habits to build upon that, to say, okay, well, this is who I am. Awesome. This is who I am. I accept it. Now I'm going to build a name for it to create the habits behind it. And then I'm going to own it. I'm going to own who I am and everything that I do with it day to day. If I don't do the work, well, then I don't deserve anything else behind it. If I do the work, then I can fight. I can battle for what I need. And I think that's been the most fun part about our process that I've really loved through the years, is how our players have been able to go in and fight for their spots, to articulate and say, yo, coach, hold on. Right, hold on. No. This is what I work on. This is what I do. Right? And we have actually one of our players on now, right? Mom knows this. So that was one of the best things that I love about with our players, is that they're able to go in and consciously, right, and unconsciously articulate and go, no, whoa, wait a second. You're saying this, but here's what I know that I am and I do. So give me a different reason not to think that what I see with my own eyes, what I feel with my own body being, give me a different reason to believe something else, because I know who I am. Hey, coach, and everybody else around me, do you know who you are? Because I know what I do. Do you know what you do? And that's the most beautiful part about the speed of the mind, of knowing, clarity. No. This is what I do. No. If you're going to tell me something else, explain to me why, because I know what I do. I know what I do day to day. Identify, direct, own it. I know what I do. So to have somebody else tell you something else, that's speed of mind. Yeah. That commitment, that vision, that speed of mind.
And that's exactly what the performance team is set up to do. And this is an online team, so it doesn't matter where you live. We are getting, we're bringing a team of players together to work through this process this summer. It's a 10-week program. Yep. We are starting at the end of June. So
it builds the fundamentals, right? The fundamentals that all of our students get. It builds the fundies, right, of understanding. Okay, if I truly want to take control and make my mind go fast, here's how it goes. Here's how it goes. Right? And with Beth, so good, speed of the mind. Oh yeah, because it's the unconscious mind work. Yes. That was the unconscious part. That's the part that we don't realize. Yes. That's the part when it comes to player development, that's what we need to focus on, right? How to make that natural game come out and develop around that, not fight who we are and try to plug in something we're not. But that unconscious is the biggest, been battling with that internally of figuring out how to articulate that for years. And Beth couldn't agree more. Conrad, what's up, brother? Yeah, lots of energy. My man.
Does he ever not have energy?
No.
I see where Naomi gets it from. I was telling you, like, Naomi goes into school in the morning, all the other kids are tired and they're walking, and Naomi's like, hey, what's up?
Oh, so totally.
How you doing? But, yeah.
Macker, hope you're good, buddy. Miss you, brother. He was definitely one of the best roomies.
Macker.
One of the best roomies for sure.
I think he's the only one that didn't throw you out. No, I'm just kidding.
He was the man. He's a good man. He's a good man.
Yes. But yeah, so this performance team, right? We're really excited about it. If you have a player that you are interested in making sure gets a spot with us, just shoot us a message, drop a comment below. We will get in touch with you. For that, we only have a few spots left. So we're only taking on limited number of players in our programs because we give lots of attention. We don't want anyone being lost in the process. So
when it's on, it's on. Yep.
Yes. So that's kind of like announcement one that we have, right? That's and then kind of on the flip side, right?
Yep. And then in a month, then after that,
in July,
we start up with the coaching cert,
our
second coaching cert
round of our coaching
second round,
cert.
And excited about that. It's so where that energy, right? I'm a little more excited today. There's interesting.
What age for the performance team? Sorry.
For the performance?
Yes.
Beauty. Performance team, I put it like this, right? If typically the norm is in that 13 older, but if you're younger and you work at this, right? Like you see that your child is mature at it, works on their own, is inquisitive, like stuff like that. If there's a maturity to their presence, to what they do, they already do stuff on their own, they'll love this. They're ready for it. So that's the only thing. It's if they're not self-starters, if they're not really doing the work on their own, then they're not ready for the group environment, what we do, because we put out challenges, we put out things that they have to do. So 13 and older is the norm. But then as we move along, we take on younger guys if they're more mature and they're already into it and all that stuff, if that answers the question.
And great question. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome question. Is a coach's cert just for hockey coaches? It's open up to anyone on that end. It is, we definitely, from the skill standpoint, we talk more on the hockey centric piece of it. But if there's others that are out there that are open to coming in and wanting to work through it, we're more than happy to talk about the other sports, put it in.
Well, but I even think like strength and conditioning coach, if you work with hockey players, this is a cert that would benefit you.
100%.
Because Pearl, we had Pearl in our last round.
She's
an amazing and outstanding. We've had her as a guest on the show for nutrition.
Yeah.
She found great value and it really helped her level up with what she's doing with her athletes. So no, you don't just have to be the traditional coach on the ice. But I would say that it's all hockey.
We talk a lot about that.
But it doesn't have to be the on-ice coach. If you're, a strength and conditioning coach, if you're a nutrition coach, all of those avenues would benefit for sure you elevating, working with hockey players and really understanding how they best learn and incorporating all of our mindsettery. That's a new word. That's not enough coffee yet this morning. But why don't you talk a little bit more about the certs as far as what coaches will, and I know we've had our feedback from our coaches that have been through it and loved it. They're always like, man, I don't know if I can really explain what this is because I've lived through it, but it's a lot of self-awareness in the journey. It's a journey. It is not your typical, here's your textbook, you're going to read and take an exam. That is not at all what this certification is.
No,
it's very interactive.
Very interactive. And the biggest part is this, right? Is that like, so for my personal transformation of, 9 years ago when I got into this whole thing, right, and all that, she's like, yes, she is.
She's talking about Pearl.
Oh, she is. Okay. Yes, she is too. Jim, what's up, buddy? No, what's so powerful about the coaching cert is this, is that, from a coaching standpoint, when I went through my transformation, the big part that I learned about was I had to understand myself first. Right? Like I'm excited about going to do Roger Nielsen next week and present and talk about how, there's the right away, hey, can you do a presentation on connecting with players, right? It's how to connect with players. And my whole message going in is it's not about thinking about how do I connect with players, right? How do I go do it? What do I need to go do? It's about rule number one is you have to connect with yourself first. You have to know how you operate first to understand that there's going to be certain styles of players that it's going to be hard for you to deal with. It doesn't mean that it's hard for another coach to deal with, but for you, it's going to be hard to deal with. So because it's hard for you to deal with this kind of player, what do you know about yourself of why? Why is it hard for you to deal with? That's what we get at the core of, right? Through the exercises, through the challenges, the things that we do in the cert is we help you go deep and really understand yourself first, then build out. It's about the players and everybody else. Because at the core of it, that's what's the missing ingredient is that we sit there and we think we're going to read more books on how to do this, how to be better at this and all that. But until you actually know what your model is, until you know how your car operates, how it turns, how it deals with certain weather elements, until you know how your machine operates, you're not going to maximize how to actually coach others because you have to know you first. And that was the transformation that happened for me from a coach's standpoint. And I've been working with players for years to do it. And then when we went through it with the coaches, what dawned on me was what the coaches all said at the end. They were like, I can't explain this to somebody else. It's something you have to experience. And I go, bingo. It is an experience. And it's an experience. And that's the difference of we ask our players to go get better. We tell our players, go get better, right? We work on our players and they work on for weeks. We have them working on at hockey. You do breakouts. You do defensive zone system. You go in the gym. You make your body stronger. We tell them to work deeply at their game to make themselves better. Yet, when it comes to certifying coaches and getting better at what we do, what do we actually work on that deepens our game? What do we actually do that has depth to what we do? A weekend coaching cert, right? You got USA Hockey does nothing against it, but that reality is in one weekend, you think because one person went up and did a cool presentation, oh wow, I'm going to go learn more information about that and read a book. You think now that's going to be a part of you and what you do as a coach? Bullshit. Not a chance. You have to understand how you operate and then create a standard and live by that standard every day and adjust it as it goes. But you've got to work on yourself and do that. And that's what our cert does is it actually puts you through a process to look back and figure out and understand, wow, I didn't realize that about myself. Every coach had that aha moment in the cert. Every coach walked around and goes, wow, like it was that one thing that just hit them of like, holy cow, I never thought that's what mindset is. And that's those little epiphanies that is so important.
It's almost like a college course on coaching.
So, yeah.
Like if you could go back to school or if you haven't been and you got to pick like a class that you'd want to take, like it is literally the ins and outs and the fundamental, the psychology, the science, and obviously in a really interactive way, the spirituality of being a better coach. And that will apply to you in your business, with your team, with your organization, with your significant other. Like it literally kind of takes over every aspect of your life in a good way. And I do want to say that this too is because we said there's weekend certs. This cert, it's 12 weeks. Yeah. I mean, we are together. We read it together actually. So you don't just get this adorable guy. You're stuck with me too. So I don't know if that's a good selling point or not, but so if you know a coach or you know anybody that you think would benefit from this level of, this can be new coaches, old coaches, it doesn't matter. You just have to want to make yourself better, and it will elevate your team and your experience. If your pain point has been parents, this would be a great cert for you because it's going to give you such a different perspective as to what you think your issue is.
Exactly.
I just realized this is what happens when you move on your own. When you start carrying heavy boxes.
That wasn't me.
No, I'm just kidding. It really was carrying heavy boxes in the house.
I was actually impressed that you were able to carry that box. But yeah, no, but that's the biggest part of, can't talk too much about this morning, but things are moving, guys.
Yes.
Things are moving. And if you're listening to this and you have interest and, you know, it's crazy. It's funny of like how from where we started, how things have been going and to now to be able to sit here and start to say like, it's getting real.
So that brings me to a really awesome part about our search. So Bloodline Hockey is growing, right? Like our company, we have big missions, big visions about how we want to see development in the game change for a healthier environment for kids, how to make it more for all of us, right? For players, for parents, for coaches, for the whole environment, because healthier is happier. Happier means more growth. You can push yourself or not push yourself, but at least you're aware of yourself in that situation. And we are bringing coaches on board because we are growing past what just the two of us are able to do on our own. Yeah. We only hire certified coaches from out of our thing. You have to learn our system, and that is what you have to experience it. You have to see, and you have to learn the methodology behind what we're doing. So that we will be hiring out of this next class of coaches. So if you're interested, again, same thing, drop a comment below, shoot us a private message. Everyone in the world probably has your cell phone number, so they can just send you a text. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. No,
but we're going like Bloodline Hockey. You will be hearing more from us on many levels in many different places all around the world. And we want coaches to share in this vision of mind speed and healthy development and healthier environments for all. Join us.
Yes.
That's all I can say is join us because it's going to be fun.
Coach Pearl is here.
Pearl, your ears ringing?
Yeah.
Did you hear you got a shout out?
Coach Pearl, what's up? She's awesome.
And then we've got
Thank you, Beth. Love what you're doing as well. Yeah, that's exactly. That's the idea. Strengthen up the people that message, right? We're all hammering away at it, and that's the point, right? Just keep on battling and battling for good. Yes. That's all that matters.
And to Beth and Pearl, I'm sorry I've been MIA. I've been busy. You can't even see all the boxes. You only see those two. We're almost done our move, and I promise I'll be more back to normal in my regular life as someone that does something other than, wipe kids' butts and pack boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
And then tomorrow we kick off our first mastermind of the summer.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, we do some mastermind events where we bring in small groups of players and work with them, live through our methodology. And we have the first one that kicks off tomorrow with our Bloodline brothers, players that have been with us throughout this season and beyond that, come in from all over to hang with us. That kind of brings us to our topic today of summer hockey and summer events and summer showcases and.
Yep, exactly. No, it's the summer-wise, the one thing, the message, right, that we're already in our culture, and you guys have heard it at some point if you've been listening for a while. The one thing now moving into the off-season is you don't get this time back, no matter what off-season you're in. But the unique thing about in the hockey world is that this is the time you don't get back, right? You just regained 11, 12 hours of your day. No school, no homework. Automatically just gave you back at least 10 to 12 hours, right?
That is horrifying to all the parents, by the way.
Yes,
that means they're hanging around.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the part of where now that the off season's here and you have that time, true individual personal transformation, this is the time where you can actually change and transform your body, the way you think about certain things, the way instinctively things that you do, you can actually deeply spend a lot of time on it now without other stuff in the way. And so that's the part that's cool about this time of the year is that, things like, again, nutrition, right? We know with Coach Pearl, guys, if you're looking for anything nutrition-wise, you see on the bottom there in the comments, Pearl Nuremberg, follow her, look at everything, guys, eat for performance, everything, guys, when it comes to nutrition part. That's the part where off season, That's the part where now that you have the time to be able to do it, what an opportunity to be able to eat right all day long, how you need to, right? Rhythm, the cycle of when to eat and all that stuff. Nobody better than Coach Pearl on that end. But that's the part, guys, of where you get that time back so there's no excuses, because I hear a lot of excuses in season. Well, I didn't have the time. I wake up early in the morning for school. I'm not hungry, all these things. These are the parts that start to come together for the off season. This is the time that you have available. We can put in things more into my nutrition needs, my rest needs, getting enough sleep, making sure that I get the rest that I need, because we all know how in season with homework and all stuff like that, there's a lot of that sleep deprivation. Now you get to focus. You can do maybe a little bit more in the gym if you wanted to. Again, being smart about that, but you don't get that time back. And that's why when it comes to surviving summer showcases, on the other end, we want to be very mindful of how many things, how many showcases we go and we sign up for and we do. Because you can easily, in today's world, you can easily sign up for 12 weeks of showcases if you wanted to. You could go do 12 weeks, line up, and then the summer's over and boom, that's it. You're done. You don't get that chance to come back and really zone in on what you need to do. You don't get that time back. And so we can't stress it enough that if you're going to be doing summer showcases, you're going to be doing that work, you got to be very smart about these next June, July, and August, because this is the time you can truly transform yourself, right? In season is more about the team, adjustments. You got school now. Our brains are all over the place. Off season's about you. And so take advantage of that and be very, very intentional and very concentrated and committed to these 3 months, because you don't get them back. And can't say it enough times, but you don't. Yeah.
And I think I kind of want to put a disclaimer, as I usually do.
Yep.
If your kids are young, please chill out. What we're talking about is for older players.
Yes.
And for those
who are very committed, that like the kids all in.
But like, don't be afraid, because let me tell you something though. When they are older, there are certain events you might have to go to. You are going to be in the gym all the time. If you're younger, like, go have fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's more important. You want to have a great season. Yeah. You need to like refresh. And if you're young enough, you can go play other sports. Exactly. You can go do other things. You don't have to understand there's a lot of pressure, because the summer hockey season is a huge booming business. Okay. So everybody's going to put the pressure on. Oh, you got to go to this event. This is who's there. This is what's happening. If you don't go to this event, then you're going to miss out on that. And listen, just take a deep breath and really figure out the same way you do in season. What do we want out of this summer? And if you're, what are we really looking for? Are there some, maybe showcases in a town we'd love to go have a family vacay in, right? Like we can stay an extra day, or maybe go check out some sites. Can we turn it into something fun for the family, right? Like, find ways to make it fit where you are with your family. Yeah, exactly. I think that's really important. And it's okay to say no.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
You don't have to say yes to every invitation you get.
Exactly.
And I would just say the only thing there is try to say no from the get-go. Like, don't commit, and then you're like a week from the tournament and you're like, oh my God, we don't want to go travel again. Now we're going to pull out, because that's not cool. And you wouldn't like that if you were in the other person's shoes. So like, just think about the summer as a whole and what you'd like to commit to and why.
Exactly.
And then go for the ride.
Yep. Exactly. What you'd like to commit to and why.
Yeah.
Right. That's the biggest part, is like
you and your family. What works for you and your family.
Bingo. Like, if you feel like it's coming from a place of, I have to go do this because blackballed or connections and all that stuff, that's coming from the wrong place, right? Spiritually. You have to look at it as, what benefit is this going to give me? Do I need to go experience this because I'm going to learn from the environment? This is an opportunity that I've never been here in this type of environment. It's a little bit higher level. You know what? It's going to be a great opportunity for me to learn what it's like to be a higher level, right? Is it an opportunity where, I don't get to see my friends all year? I've got all my friends going to this event. I'm going to get to hang out with them for a weekend. 10 of them are going. Wow, what a great opportunity. Awesome. Let's go do it at a tournament, have fun, and that's it, right? Those are the reasons of it. Always has to come back to you personally. How does it benefit you and your development and your spirit and your experience? That's what matters most for the off-season stuff. So going and chasing things because you think you have to do it, or you think somebody's going to discover you and all that stuff, the only people that go and do stuff like that because you think you're going to get discovered are people that are in off markets. And you might be there. You might be in a area where, no one sees us. Like, we're just like in one of these areas. It's just like hockey's not that big around here, no one sees us, then yes, I'm a total believer in reverse it. In season, then maybe you play a simple schedule. You don't travel that much. It's not that crazy. You're doing hockey a couple days a week. No big deal. But then in the off season, you fill up with more of these events and all that, right? You fill up more of these events. You go out there because you're trying to give your child those experiences that they don't get in season. Then absolutely, you go do it because you're able to flip flop it, right? But you're not burning yourself out, which, by the way, how about that, is now officially an actual.
Yeah.
Is it disease or what does it go under?
I don't know, but a term or like, was it dictionary or was it I know it's a psychological condition.
Burnout.
Like an actually recognized condition.
So crazy, right? And that makes sense of how things are going culturally, not getting no sleep. All this stuff is going on. So it makes complete sense.
No, because I do want to talk to that burnout because it's something actually we deal with a lot.
Yes.
And you may not think of it, but like, you can almost be a puppy dog, right? Where like all these showcases, all these things that you get asked to go do sounds so exciting and so awesome that you want to say yes, right? Yeah. But you need, and maybe you need to figure out in your family dynamic who that is, like who is the less emotionally involved in those particular situations to be like, yes, I think it's great to go do all of that, but I know what you're like after that. Like, when you come home now, maybe you're not getting to the gym until like Wednesday because you just went and played 5 games over the weekend and you're too tired. So you really have to take a step outside and everything sounds exciting and probably is fun, but you still have to realize that there's a fallout to each of those things. And what does that mean for you? Like, yes, you would love to go speak at every event that you get asked to and be able to fly all around the world and go do that. But then you come home and it's like you hit that point where eventually, oh my God, I'm so tired, I can't even move. Exactly. And we probably can all relate. I know as like a mom, like we push and push and push until we've like, we're probably really sick. So it's important to have that watchful eye over what's going on in more of a macro type of viewpoint. Yeah, exactly. And that's what mindset is, right? Is learning how to set your mind towards what you value most, what's most important to you. And that's a skill, right? That's a skill, especially in today's world, right? Because you can get caught up in taking everything and wanting to do everything. But the skill set is understanding. That's why it's so important. That's why we always emphasize, what do I know? Who am I? What are my needs? That's why we do that, is because if you truly keep sharpening the sword and keep focusing on that, you start to get good at it. You start to realize, okay, this is what I need to do. This, you know what? These 2 events make sense for our family. These other 3 don't. And it starts to get a lot easier to be able to like figure out which ones mean something to you when you start committing to yourself first. Then you build out from there. That's why it's so important to understand what you value most from the experience, why it's important for you, for your development, how it's going to benefit you. That's why the mindset piece is so important, is because you're focused on, I know what my needs are. Now, okay, what opportunities are out there to fulfill what I need for my development, and for my spirit. That's at the core of why it's so important to understand that part, so you don't get caught up in getting pulled by everybody, because you can't. It's not healthy. It's not a good experience. You can't say yes to everyone. You can't. Yeah. So, Vincenzo, what I have experienced is that if you don't get in with a program early in your youth hockey, it's very hard to break into the closed circle. Yeah, it depends. Geographically, that may or may not. Yeah, it depends. I mean, at the end of the day, it is about performance. And the younger players, it doesn't. The more and more, buddy, that I keep going through this and further down a rabbit hole, honestly, until 12, 13, those educationally, getting with the right coaches that develop you, yes. That's important. That's important. So as a program, and that doesn't have to be specifically towards an organizational program. That can be just getting a good skills coach, a good mindset coach, whatever it is, like getting somebody that's influencing you in that way. Yes, I agree. The earlier, the better. If you're committed, absolutely. But as far as being surrounded by and all that stuff at a young age, it's not important. It really isn't. It's more about the spirit of how badly does the kid want it, and then the education, the knowledge. What kind of knowledge are you experiencing and getting along the way? Case in point, right? We had some players this past weekend on my 08 team that during the season, they're not playing on the super elite teams, right? But because they played on this super elite team, they came together. A couple of them had these big aha moments from the weekend of like, wow, even though I play with my guys at home, oh my God, I got to do things so much faster.
it hit them. And that's the beauty of why I'm a big believer in what we do with our East Coast Selects team, is that we give that opportunity to the players to bring all the best players together and for them to, have an experience together so they can go away and go, oh, wow, yeah, at home, I'm allowed to do all this stuff. But when I come together with the best players, actually, I can't approach it that way. I've got to change my perspective and approach it differently when I go back. So that's the kind of stuff, Chens, that on that end, buddy, that making sure of that's the more important piece, is understanding the influence of the knowledge. Is it there? And then obviously that you have a player that wants it that badly. Yeah. You just can't, if the player doesn't want it that badly, it doesn't matter what program you put them into, it's never going to work. The heart has to be there. That's why love is greater than work, right? The love has to ultimately be there first. And if that's there, then yes, you need the knowledge around. And the knowledge, the beauty about today's world, you can find knowledge in so many different mediums and outlets that are out there.
But I believe opportunities are open, and that it may not be in the places that you necessarily think that they are.
Yes.
But like, if you work hard, if you're a player that's doing a good job, like there's tons of opportunities.
Exactly.
And I think it's important. And I think the whole like cliquey organization game playing of if you go here or whatever, and we're not going to take you, like at the end of the day, performance wins out.
In the long term, that doesn't win. In the long term, tell you guys, like what people think, no. In the long term, watched it so many times now. Mm-hmm. In the long run, you thinking you're being methodical and putting your kid into positions because, oh, well, if they keep around this, they're going to help with their connections and get me through and all that stuff. You lose almost 99% of the time.
Yeah.
You will lose because it's not about that. It's about the development. How good it's about performance. How good are you becoming? How valuable are you becoming as a performer is always going to win. Always. So make yourself, right? The famous Einstein quote, are you a man of value? That's what matters most. Become as valuable as possible. And in the long run, you will win, if we want to call it. Right?
But so when you're so like when you said the word methodical, it like triggered my brain to think, and there's a few things to keep in mind with showcases, with tournament weekends, is you can be methodical about what you want to expose either your child to. Like if they're younger, maybe you want to give them an opportunity to play a different position. If they're, if maybe they're used to playing with a certain caliber, a certain type of player all the time, put them maybe on a team that they don't know anyone. So they have the opportunity to go and learn what it is to make friends, to go reach out to new people. Like these are really cool things that you can try in the off season that may not be available to you in season.
Exactly. Or like different stuff, right? Like let's dig even deeper of my kid needs quicker feet. Their feet need to work on quicker feet. Great. All right. Put them in tennis. Tennis from a hockey standpoint is one of the best, always facing the play, moving quick back and forth. Amazing sport, right? Amazing cross trainer. Fine, your kid doesn't want to do any other sport other than hockey. Okay, you're going to go do street hockey. Street hockey, deck hockey does the same thing. It works on quick feet. Think about it in season. We're always on our skates, right? Our muscles aren't developing because we're always balancing in hockey. Now we're getting on the ground. You're developing those quick cuts and all that stuff. Street hockey, amazing. Amazing cross trainer that we don't utilize nearly enough in the game. Roller hockey is good too as well. Right? It's
but talk about a cost savings. If you're trying to cut back in the summer, like street hockey is a fraction of the cost.
Exactly.
Because you're not running ice. Like,
exactly.
Go outside and play it.
Yeah, exactly. Robert, what's up? What's up? Darren. OG.
But I want to say to the parents too, it's your opportunity during a showcase weekend to work on stuff for yourself.
Yes.
So you have an opportunity. If you find that you're stressed out during summer hockey as a parent, you need to take a breath.
Mm-hmm.
You need to take a breath.
Yep.
Because it's a great opportunity to, if you're getting mixed up in the drama, it's summer hockey. Take a moment.
Exactly.
Maybe don't watch a game. Like, go look around on your phone in the lobby, or go drop your kid off, make sure they're good, and come back later. Like, this is not just all on your kids. As parents, this is an opportunity for us to work through things also. Mm-hmm. Do you find you're sitting there white knuckle watching the game and it's like a summer showcase game? Listen, if you're in the finals, cool. I get that. That's exciting. There's stuff going on. But you should not be livid with a coach during summer hockey. You should not, under normal circumstances, unless something really crazy happens. But if you're screaming at your, and flipping out and it's summer hockey,
Right.
it's time for you to also put some of this into practice for yourself so that you can go into next season and being like, okay, like I need to work on being calmer. I need to work on maybe like walking away for a minute, sitting somewhere else. It's not just about what the kids can work on. We as parents can level up too.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to say that.
No, 100%. Great point. Great point. And those are little things, the triggers, instincts that you can feel from those environments. Because, the off season is supposed to be more laid back, more focused on what my developmental needs are. That's what the off season has to be all about.
Yeah, like if you're screaming at your kid after a summer hockey game.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, how about,
yeah, you had that.
I just had that, and it was funny, actually. Brad ended up, he was like, hey, did you give it to him? And so as we just had the Atlantic District player development camp, right? So these are all the players that go to the national camp, right, from the district camp. So I'm chasing. It was kind of fun. Like, you were away with Naomi. So I was like, I'm going to take Nash. And it was kind of meditative because everyone saw that I was with Nash and running after him. So no one could really grab me. So it was great that I was actually able to be like in the zone around it, but I didn't have to be in the zone with anybody because they were like, okay, I get it. You're running after Nasher. So
try running after him like 7 days a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me how meditative you think it is.
So yeah, exactly. So it was a lot of fun of just letting him be in the rink and moving around with him and all that. But it was funny of watching how this one player comes off the ice after the session and literally mom rolls up on him and is walking off the ice with him. And as she's walking up and she just like says in that angry tone and just like, you got to be better. You got to be better than that. Like you could feel how angry she was. And here I am like grabbing Nasher and I look up and I see her walking right alongside of him. He's going to the locker room. He's not even off the ice yet. He's going to the locker room. And I'm watching this unfold and I just shake my head like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because from my perspective of what, even the short time of just, when you're around something enough, you get a sense of what's going on. So Nasher, there was a couple of times where we just sat upstairs and we're watching and seeing what's going on the ice. And then I bounced this off. We had 4 or 5 of our guys in the event, and I bounced this off of them during the play. And I asked afterwards, I'm like, did you get a sense of this? So here's what I noticed from the short time that I was in there watching what was going on, the feel of the air, what was happening there. You see the players out there, nobody was competing to go because I'm going for USA national thing. You didn't feel that at all in the air, that there's this big competition going on the ice. You know why? Because these kids are so used to going to summer events with each other. They've lost that hunger. It looked more like a bunch of buddies getting together at an event. And they're like, hey, it's been a while, man. You see them on the face-offs. What's up, man? Talking. I couldn't believe how many kids I saw just relaxing on the ice. And when you watch the play, nobody was competing like that, trying to kill each other for the spot. You could just feel there was none of that in the air. It was more like, hey, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, yeah. We've been playing against each other for years. This is cool. We get to come out to another event, see each other. Yeah, hopefully you make it. Yeah, me too. Like, you didn't feel at all that determination of like, holy cow, I'm here, and this is an opportunity to make it to the national camp. You didn't feel that at all in the air with these players in the district. And so it was just like,
it'd be interesting to go to another district and see.
Yeah, it would be
similar.
It would be, yeah, because I know a lot around here definitely do a lot of events for sure. But like you sensed that was not in the air. It wasn't there. Like, I really want to make it. Like, it was more like, hey, what's up, man? Like, and the players were like, yeah, it did kind of feel like that. I didn't feel at all. It just felt like another event.
Okay, and that's a great place to point out, like, if you can't decipher, and you meaning like if the kid can't decipher that this is an event that's important enough to show up and compete, you're probably going to too many events.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Because if you have to put it out like that all the time, like you're not, but they should be able to like realize and recognize that to me is a sign that they're probably overplayed.
Well, and that's the one thing, guys, that I'll tell you this, like, we're fortunate we work with the top players, like top young players that are out there. So, and here's what I could tell you. They're not chasing all these events. They do a couple things. If there's a USA Hockey thing, okay, I have to go do that, or a Hockey Canada. They do a couple of things that are like, okay, I got to go do that, and then that's it. They're in the gym. They're training. They're working on their game. Like, they're not like, even the ideas of, hey, if you're with your buddies and all, you're rarely getting, once you hit 14 and up, you are rarely getting any of these players to commit to anything. Because to them, they're like, yep, this is my off season. Yeah, no, I got to get ready. I'm developing myself. I know what I need to work on. I don't want to go get injured in one of these events. It's pointless. I don't need it. That's the truth of what happens with these older players is They don't do a bunch of these things. Everyone's trying to pull these guys in. You know, like we had that in Philly. We had a WSI event. So I was able to pull in some of the 04s, top end. So there was one event and the USA Hockey stuff. Other than that, these other top 04s, they're not going to do these other crazy events. They're not chasing it. No, they're not. They're just like, I don't need that. Like I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on getting better. And so that's a part where that's the truth. Take it or leave it. You may not believe it. You may think whatever, that's fine. But that's our truth. That's what we experience and what we've seen now for over a decade, that this is what the top are doing. They're not chasing all those events. And I get it with some people we think, but the one piece of advice that I can always give is that, you know, our players will ask, okay, colleges and all that stuff. And I go, get ready for the fall. The fall is that's the real time, right? We just had one of my players for the older players, right? When we're U16, U18, they're all asking about these events. I'm like, it doesn't matter. You know what matters? In the fall, you're going to be at these showcases, and they're all going to be there in the stands watching, and they want to see, how do you look with your regular team? How do you look? In the off season, you know, through the years, we've had what? 2 cases? Yeah. 2 cases, and it was because one of them is living in Florida, and that's the only reason why the school committed to this player, because this player was about to go onto a team that was going to get showcased and be everywhere, and this school saw over the summer at a USA Hockey.
That was a real outlier situation.
That's the point. It was an outlier situation where, holy cow, love this kid, don't want this kid going elsewhere, bring him in. Yeah, we're committed to him now. Those happen every blue moon. For the majority, it's what are you doing in season? They care about in season more than where they see you off season, and there's no discovering. It's
the most important thing, and it's not a surprise that it goes back to self-awareness. Mm-hmm. What do you need? What's the piece you need to work on in your game to get better?
Exactly.
And then how does participating in events, camps, whatever it is, how is that going to help you, you know, to accomplish what it is you're looking for? So it's more important to have trustworthy people in your life to actually help you answer that question.
Exactly.
What should I be working on? What do I need to be directing my attention to? And then what can I do to do that, right? So then it makes it very easy of answering some of these questions as to what events you're going to go to, what, you know, camps or showcases or whatever it is, you know, then you have a question to ask. Does it help me do this? Does it feed my soul, you know, from making me a better player or making me a happier person? And then if the answer is yes to either one of those, then you're in the right direction. But if it's no to either one of those, then you need to start thinking. If it's no to both, that's a hard no on the event.
Correct.
So you control the destiny. And that's what I think so much of why we do Parent Trap is because there's so much noise out there from coaches, organizations, both in-season organizations, summer organizations, schools, this, that, the other, hockey camps. Like there's so much noise telling what they think you should be doing.
What they think.
You need to go to power skating camp. You need to go to checking camp. You need to go to this showcase. You need to go to that event. And I'm not saying that there's no ill will there, but I'm saying we're trying to empower you to take control back for your family. Some of those things are going to work for you and not work for others, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, it has to be what works best for you and your family. And knowing and trusting that in that process, that it's all good. If you stick to that, you'll be fine.
And that takes work.
Yes.
Right? That's the part that drives us. That's what we love, right? Is that takes work. You have to understand, in order to put yourself in positions, experiences, right? The knowledge. In order to go after the right stuff, you have to keep figuring out for yourself. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail. You're going to fall on your face, whatever you want to call it in the beginning. But like anything else, the more you experiment, the less you're falling on your face. That's the truth of development. And in the beginning, I might try a bunch of stuff and I'm learning and I'm realizing, but then there comes a point where variability has to change, where you can't just keep creating variables and keep doing stuff without any kind of, you know what, this works, let's stick to this and keep going now, creating variables with this, versus I just keep all over the place shooting for millions of targets and I don't actually commit to one. You have to commit to one. You have to commit to something. And that's why understanding yourself, what you're designed, how you naturally operate, instincts on the ice, that's why that's so important, because it starts to make it easy to commit to certain things and say to others, that doesn't fit my style. That doesn't fit what I need. But no disrespect, I love what you're doing. It just doesn't fit what my needs are. That's at the core of all this, right? When you have that, now you've got great situations. You know what to zone in on. But until you have that, you're just going to keep listening to every person out there telling you what to do, because there's a lot of people that like to tell people what to do. There's plenty, right? That's just what it is. Like, it's out there. I think, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm honest.
have a great day too. See you. But yeah, that's the reality. So, that's the message, is making sure this off season, surviving summer showcases, again, get to the core of what do you really need? What do you really need? What do you want? Again, if you're a family that's like, you know what, we need a break. We need to just take a break. Awesome. Take a break. If the game was that crazy and you had a really hard year and you just want to unload your mind and get away from it, awesome. Get away from it. Get away. But you have to know what your needs are. That's what matters. That's the secret sauce to all this stuff. Yeah. And that takes work. That takes work.
And I would say, do you guys have any questions? You can either pop them below or shoot them over to us. But if you guys have any questions,
and Christy, I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, Corey Mackin's story. Yeah, it's an unbelievable story. At Ferris State, it's awesome. Actually, Jim knows him. I think he coached him at one point too. One of my good buddies there, he coached him back in the day as well. But yeah, all kinds of great stories like that. And those are the kinds of stories. Yep, I've got those stories too, of players that came out of nowhere, playing tier 2. Nobody saw them, and boom, they took off. Because all this younger stuff, no different than people ask all the time with Nasher or with Naomi. Naomi, I think she's going to get into entertainment stuff and all that, but I don't see the hockey part. But with Nasher, if he gets into an athlete, you're going to see. But
I would say we can all relate if we take hockey out of it, right? Like, we all had little babies for the first time at one point, and we used to worry, are they meeting their milestones? Oh my God, they're not walking yet. They're not talking yet. Oh my God, they're not eating this. They're not doing that. And they're not potty trained. And you get so sucked into milestones and where you think they should be. Yeah. And for the most part, when they go to the bathroom, they're almost hitting the toilet. Like, they're all walking, they're all talking. Oh, yeah. We get so stressed in the moment because we want to make sure we're like following suit. And this is really no different. So you've already done this.
Yes.
You've already been through a situation where you've been worried about something, but like eventually it all works out. Oh, so have faith in that. Like, eventually, I'm assuming if you're watching this, your child walks because they're probably playing hockey. Like, like we've stressed over those details with our little baby. Oh, they're like first cold for, like whatever it is. And it's just a different scenario, but it's kind of the same thing. Like, hold true to what you need to do. You bring in experts when you need them. Yeah. But it's know yourself and know what's best for your family. Like, that's what I think is, I think
that's the skill.
That's true.
That's a skill in and of itself. And that's the real skill. You have to know it.
Train. That's the fear of missing out. Yep. FOMO. You only really do need to build athletes and not just hockey players. Yes.
Yep. Exactly.
No, they talk too much. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. That's okay. That's all right. Let them be too.
4 lax tourney in June. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. We need 4 lacrosse tourney in June. Not sure what we meant by that.
I don't know. But the other thing we kind of want to announce is that today is actually going to be our last show until August. As I mentioned, we are in the middle, like literally in the middle of moving. Yeah. And we do have some travel commitments coming up. And last summer, we did not do any shows in July. We're expanding a little bit more through June this year, rather than just coming to you like once a month. We'll still pop on live to say hi, but we will be back at it for preseason in the beginning of August. And maybe even some live coverage of when you play in your checking for charity tournament.
Yeah. Back to the A division. Pumped.
And but you will be hearing from us. We will not be quiet, but we do just kind of have a lot of chaos. We'll be setting up. So this will be the last time you see us recording from here with Elmo, Big Bird, and a monster behind our heads. Maybe we'll bring them to the new house. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, so we've loved doing this with you again this season, and we will 1000% can't wait to be back with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Again awesome. In August.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Yeah, obviously it's a cool world we live in. The fact that we can do this, no matter how much crap is talked about Facebook and all that stuff. It's that's one of the things we strive and we love about is using it as a medium for a positive message, because this is what social media is all about. it's not just about look at how amazing my life is and all that stuff. We know everyone talks about these different parts to it, but the beauty part about, the circle of athletes and everything like that is that we know the people, there's plenty of people that know the truth of what this is all about. And the more we express it, the more we confidently talk about it, release that fear, right? Like that's all right. But the more we get away from that fear of what this is, the more and more we can do good. And that's the idea, is like focusing on the healthy things, right? The life skill part of it, the good things that come from the game, not all the BS that creates noise and gets us off track. So that's a big part on that end. So yeah, no, excited guys to come back, start off in a new place, and it's gonna be sick.
Lots of new announcements, lots of new things will be coming out. But you guys truly, for Summer Performance Team, our coaching certification, we're not shy here in Facebook world. So if you need to get a hold of us, you know how to do so. If you know of a player that you think would benefit or a coach that you think would benefit, please send them our way. As we are, taking applications for both. So
awesome.
And if you're in Connecticut and New Hampshire, let us know. We'll be visiting.
Yes.
So.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you guys soon.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.